every month, 2 months, 3 months, or 6 months, to have a congress for teachers to motivate them and put them up to date about different teaching programs. Because when you say critical thinking, that's more about how to teach, how the way you teach, how do you motivate kids to think. That's more about teachers teaching teachers, you know, more about the educational system. It's not more about programs, but the way you teach, the way you motivate kids to think, to have their own opinions, to express themselves. So that's more about, maybe we could get teachers from all over the world to come and have this event, and maybe they could, you know, motivate and feel they can do something different, learn about different experiences, and maybe it could be like a kind of congress or just a program that could stay.
Maybe here to realize that the role of the teacher now is becoming as facilitator, not as a source of knowledge. This is a very important concept also. It is a very important concept. It is very easy to say it, but it is very difficult to implement it. And to try to give practices to the teachers, how could I be as a facilitator to help my learner to learn and to reach the point in the way that I think this is the right one?
Well, just to insist on a point, a proposal I submitted in writing that the Palestinian Network should build a pool of scholars who would volunteer to teach for free. They, of course, their basic expenditures should be covered by, I assume, international cooperation, but in this case it should be easy to find counterparts. And the Palestinian Authority could choose among those volunteers according to available means and to teaching priorities here in Palestine.
Mr. Nabil began with something, and I was hoping that he will continue with that. Culture. For me, culture is headline, and there is many things under this headline. I believe in music, that it could give our children, very much. It's a part of this headline, culture, which we are talking about. I know that in Venezuela they have a very successful experiment with music in the poor area. And I would like to see this in our refugees camp. Teach small kids when they are 5, 6 years. Because music creates a very sensitive human being, clever human being. We need this to come forward, to develop ourselves in a new way. This is something which I really try to find. I am really missing this in the Palestinian society. We have just a little elite, the children of the rich people. Maybe, I guess, or I just have some kind of consideration that in some school, private school, Christian school, some of the kids get musical education. But I would like to see this in refugees camp for the poor people. Not only this music, but even though I know that during our project here in Abu Dhabi, that even sport, football, and such these activities create non-violence generation, people who are clever, people who can deal with the enemy in a clever way.
I'd just like to give a brief example of how the kind of exchange that we've talked about could operate, bearing in mind your emphasis on ICT. My university has an arrangement with a big Chinese university, and the arrangement, and we have these with other universities as well, the arrangement is, I'm not talking too fast, the arrangement is that students can start their university education in China, come to Australia to complete it, and end up with a qualification recognised by both universities. And what we did a couple of years ago is we had a simultaneous online graduation ceremony with the campus leadership from my university went to China, the Chinese came to our university, and there was a sense of, I guess, sounds cute, but togetherness through that means. So these sorts of arrangements using the technology, using a mixture, I guess, of technology and physical exchange is one way through which this interaction we've been talking about could be made to happen.
I want to announce some activity will be in 2010 in Palestine. Maybe it will be interesting for the network and for the people that are interested in education. We will have the World Social Forum for Education. That will be in Palestine in the end of this year. Now we have like a steering committee preparing for this activity. I represent the steering committee of Bingo, the Palestinian non-governmental network, and we're working with several networks around the world. That will be a huge activities in Ramallah and Gaza and Haifa. These activities maybe will be, it's open for everybody like to make his own workshops and like this kind of, and I think the network supposed like to take place in this kind of activities and the preparation also for these activities.